I am personally looking on all areas of the organization to ensure that all the resources necessary from the state, whether it is the financing, whether it is the international cooperation, whether it is the legislative support, will be made available to the security forces to pursue this relentlessly. They must either meet a judge or meet their maker, whichever they choose. Today I make a similar commitment, and everyone who is involved in this will be brought to justice, in whichever form the justice is visited upon them.
Now, notwithstanding the brutality of what has happened, it's important that the Prime Minister recognizes that we look to our leaders for leadership. And with that in mind, I believe that the Prime Minister's comments have some dangerous undertones, and one must be circumspect when one speaks, because the Prime Minister's comments in two instances, what it can suggest and what it can possibly incite is the possibility of reprisals. And we know that's a real possibility, which is why the police had asked for a curfew to have been installed in the first instance. The other comment made by the Prime Minister could also suggest what I called state badmanism, state badness, so to speak. And we can't ignore the fact that we live in a country where we do have instances of police excesses, in some instances, questionable fatal shootings by the police.
We take note of the comments by Jamaicans for Justice indicating that some umbrage is being taken to the comments by the Prime Minister that perpetrators of acts of brutality should either be taken before a judge or meet their maker. I'd encourage Jamaicans for Justice to be careful about the message it is sending to perpetrators of violent crime. Now is a time the Jamaican society is looking for unity and support for strong action to be taken against criminals who are preying upon communities and terrorizing law-abiding citizens. I believe it's a no-brainer that people who are willing to pump bullets using M16 weapons into men, women, and minors. A 1-year-old was shot, an 8-year-old was gunned down. They will not hesitate to take on the security forces when in fact they are engaged. And therefore the comments by the Prime Minister was quite in order, that individuals who carried out this act of savagery should either be taken before a judge or meet their maker. I'd encourage JFJ to be careful that it is developing into a rogue organization and the messages that they are conveying into the public domain, which appear supportive of criminality. I have deep respect and regard for the institution that is Jamaicans for Justice, which was founded by Clarendon that has done good work of presenting a voice for the voiceless, being advocates in cases including Agana Barrett and Michael Gale. But I'd caution the current leadership of the organization to assess the space, because the Jamaican society is not in a mood where we are prepared to send mixed messages in terms of how people who perpetrate violent crimes in communities are to be treated within the constraints of the law.